Welcome back, everybody. Man, it's been a heck of a long time. Sorry for the delay, but I get caught up on Twitch streaming a lot. So as you know, I'm streaming literally every single day. I stream twice a day. So if you guys are new to this channel and you're just watching the guide for the first time and you want to hang out on my Twitch channel, it's all fun and games on Twitch TV. If you are unfamiliar and you want to ask other questions off stream or off YouTube, you can always join our Discord server as well too. The invite code is listed down below. So once again, we're back here. We're in spring. We're getting ready to continue on. It's been a bit, and like I said, I'm sorry for the delay, but thank you for sticking by and getting ready for more tutorial videos because I'm super excited to continue on. The next few videos I'm going to try to keep them around 20 minutes a piece. I kind of look at a lot of feedback. A lot of people say they love the videos, they're super descriptive. I'm going to keep them the exact same way, but I'm going to try to keep them around 15 to 20 minute segments. That way they're not so drawn out, and that way you're able to kind of skim through them a little bit quicker for you. So that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to get back into our spring world. Now, a few things that have changed since the last time we were here because it's been so long. I say it's been so long, but it's really only been, well, I guess it's been about 8 months. So it has been a while. So the few things that have changed. Now, when you go to create a world now, a few different options are now available. So under the forest and the caves tab, not that this has anything to do with the world that you're currently following along with, but now you can change the world settings and the generation settings even more than before. You have the option to add extra starting resources if you're jumping in within a certain amount of time. You're able to change seasonal starting items as well too. So this is great for new players. Clay really listened. I was an advocate for making it easier for new players joining in DST that were wanting to play with other people. And this is exactly what they did. They also gave grief respawn protection. So multiple different things have happened where now Clay has said, okay, look, if you're a new player and you're joining in wintertime, well, we're going to have to make sure that you are not going to just die right away by, a lot of people join in there like, I need a thermal stone or I need to be able to cool off like during summertime when I join in. Now Clay gives you a little bit of like a kind of like a force field around you that protects you, that basically, you can use in order to get to the base where the people are. And then that way you're not sitting there dying at the start every single time or hoping that somebody's going to run over and deliver you what you need. Another thing that they've also added is options for drop items on disconnect. This has been a big thing in the past where if you have somebody that's in your server that consistently comes and takes all of your stuff and then leaves, you can enable this and forces them to drop all their items on basically leaving. So it kind of gets away from people trying to jump in your server, grief, and then take off with all of your loot. So it's kind of a good add-on. So quite a few things that got added. I'm not going to really go over that. That's for potentially another video, but just know that there's a lot of other potential out there for making your world even nicer than before. There's also been another big change, which we're going to go over real quick as soon as we get in. But welcome back, and I'm so happy that you are continuing to watch these videos. I recently actually reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so a big clap and round of applause for that. So thank you guys for all those people who decided to click that button and subscribe. If you're listening to this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you already haven't. But if you want to see more videos, please post down below on what specifically you'd like me to explain any further. Now, keep in mind, these are uncut videos, so they are not going to be edited. They're step by step as I walk through. You can walk along and play along at the same time too. There's never going to be any edits in these videos. They're just going to be quick and kind of straight to the point. Of course, we got our friend Kiri joining us again as well too. So we are just back to where we left off last time, except that we got a little extra friend here, which we'll talk about in a second. We have a little a little meat bulb, which we got to take care of. So as we go through, a few things have changed. So let's grab our miner hat so I can show you that real quick. Just waiting for Kiri to get in. I'm going to destroy this thing. This is a meat bulb, also known as something that's going to eventually eat away at stuff that you have inside of your base. It's a fleshy bulb. And what it does is when you plant it, which you don't want to burn it up. Some people might get rid of it right away, think of it as like a weed that they'd want to just toss away and burn. You do not want to do that. You actually want to keep these, and I'll show you why later on. So let's put those aside for now. But if you do see them in your base, get rid of them. But we'll go over that as to why later on. Now, for the new fun stuff. So recently, in Clay's recent update, they went through a few changes. They they went through the process of now adding a different form of, different form of farms. So this is an old, look at this old retro one. You will not see this one anymore unless you already had a world beforehand. You will never see this thing ever again. There are mods that will bring it back. You can also edit the game files to bring it back as well too, but don't worry about it too much because now we have a new thing that is called farm plots. So we will be making, just give me 1 second, a garden rigamajig. So now what you would do, I'm going to do this real quick just to show you guys. You don't have to do this in your video your world either. It's completely up to you. But if you do want to try it out, you might as well because it's very unique and very new. And this is something that a lot of people are enjoying, especially myself. I have been falling in love with these new ways of planting, and it also gets away from using all the resources on making like little improved farms. So let's just do it over here for the heck of it. You take the rigamajig, you right click on the ground, and what it does is it tills the soil for you, turning a little square into a little patch of dirt where you can then plant your seeds. The bonus about that as well too is you no longer just have one single area to do this, just like the garden that was over here before, and you still have a bunch of uses left. Next thing you need to go and get, you need to get the new utility item, which is the hoe, which under utilities is right here. You also get a golden one as well too if you feel like you're going to be using it a lot. Now I have a mod that actually lets me do this with a thing called Action Cube Reborn, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to basically just, till the soil around and get it nice and pretty, and just to show you. Once again, I'm not going to really be using this too much, but just for the sake of the video, I'm going to do it here. For some reason, there's not any room here, so we're going to have to go ahead and dig this up. Just give me 1 second. I got to get my shovel here. Okay, so let's grab our shovel, which I guess we only made a golden one, which is fine. And let's dig up this junk. So whenever you do the rigamajig, it's going to have a little bit of has a little bit of issues where you're going to sometimes get little rocks and you're going to get little debris, and that's the normal. So don't really worry too much about that. But if you do it right, you can get enough for quite a few things of, there you go, quite a few things of seeds to be planted, and of course you can play around with your crops even more. So now whenever you got seeds, which I think we had some left over, maybe I ate them, I'm not too sure. Okay, so we have lots of seeds. Okay, so now you come over here, you take your seeds. I have Action Cube Reborn, so I can do a highlight, which, I mean, if you're not doing that, you're just gonna manually click on the little plots, plant them like this, and get them all nice and working good. Now, normal seeds will sometimes grow into, if you don't talk to them, they'll grow into like weeds and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go too in depth in the new garden update, but just know that it's a new little feature that they added. So if you're stuck on your improved farms, you can still use those, but just know that eventually you're going to need to kind of learn how to plant in the new ones. And there's plenty of videos out there that'll go over them, but to put it in a simple form, you make the plot, you plant the seeds, and periodically you're going to want to talk to the seeds. So right now I'm going, hello seeds, I love you, you're awesome. I'm going to give you a little hug. And you do this basically every day. You can also water the crops as well too to make them grow. You can basically, they've added like a complete guide on how to do that on Clay's forums as well too, basically like an in-depth instructions on what crops need what. So for example, you have onions, you have tomatoes, and you can grow them into giant crops. And like I said, it's more of a deep thing, so I'm not really going to go into this in the starter video. It's nothing that you need to really know of, especially if you're just literally looking to get past wintertime and potentially past summertime. So we're going to skip that, but just know that it's a new cool thing, but we don't need that to survive right now. So thank you, Kiri, for making that awesome meaty stew. Okay. So now that we've went over the new things that have recently changed since the last time we were here, we're going to continue on to make sure that everything that we're doing here is preparing us for what? It's preparing us for summertime. So we have our Fling-O-Matic ready, which is protecting our crops. And we also have our secondary Fling-O-Matic, which is protecting our base. So we're semi-ready for summertime. And the beauty about summertime is things continue to grow as long as you're fertilizing them and they're not wilting from from not being within the fling-o-matic range, for example, they're not catching on fire. So that's a good thing. We've already checked those two things off. The fling-o-matics are in range. They don't need to be on whatsoever right now. But there is another thing that we want to make sure, and we've already done this before, so we definitely know that we're ready to go. But if you have not done it yet, you're going to want to make sure that you 1000% have a lightning rod. Not for summertime, but for springtime. Things are going to start to get a little crazy here in spring shortly. And as they do, you're going to want to make sure that you have at least one lightning rod within the vicinity of your base. I have a mod which basically lets me know the range in which the lightning rod goes. So if I go to place down my campfire, my mod shows me the range of my fling-o-matic, which, do not worry if you don't have this. I'm just showing you a generic idea of how much room you have. So you place down the fling-o-matic, and it's going to show you, okay, your fling-o-matic goes around this area, this fling-o-matic covers this area, and this large, look how large this is. This is crazy. All this area is covered by the lightning rod. So if you're placing a lightning rod and you're like, well, does that cover like just my base? No, that covers a huge area. So hypothetically, a lightning hits, it's going to hit there no matter where we're standing. Of course, if I'm standing over here, I might potentially get hit by lightning, but don't worry about that too much. That's not really a thing to worry about. So once again, we're focusing on gathering resources when you can. Grab twigs, grab grass, grab whatever you need to make sure that you have everything ready to go and stacked up. Now, remember, resources are huge. So the more resources you get, the better. The more you have on hand, you can go ahead and you can place them in your chest for the future. You don't need to worry about, oh no, I'm running out of twigs. Well, you always have backup inside the chest. So a few things that I want to make sure that you go down and get to make sure you have for the next few nights, because I'm going to show you a few things in springtime, is once again, we want to make sure that we have adequate amount of light bulbs. So find yourself, if you guys already haven't in the previous episodes, find yourself a nice little cave entrance to go downstairs and grab some light bulbs. We're going to go down there in the morning. I'm actually going to choose to go down there in the morning instead of the nighttime, just so we can quickly run down and come back up. Make sure that you get yourself also some, do we have any? We have some green caps, some more cactus in case you need some, and we'll go back there and get those as well too. I don't think we actually found any wormholes that let us right exactly where we needed to go last time, so we got a little bit unlucky that way, but that's okay. We're gonna go back there anyways. Now, as you can tell, part of my map is still somewhat unexplored. So that's something I wanted to talk about as well too, that I didn't really mention in previous videos. Some people always ask me, is it wise to explore the entire map? Yes, 100%. When I first did this, we kind of explored the most important areas that we needed. But I would advise that if you have time in between getting your resources, making sure your character's not starving, always go around and explore. But be very careful, because if you decide that you want to go and explore around here, you might be encountered with a bunch of spiders or anything else that might be wandering out there. So just be very careful and make sure that you always have what we've mentioned before, which is a log suit and at least some sort of protection if possible. As always, our handbat is starting to go bad, so we want to make sure that we get ourselves a new handbat. And if you guys have forgotten how to do that already, you're going to want to take 4 monster meat. You want to make sure that you have your thermal stone, and you want to go visit the pigs that are over by the side of your base. So let's go have a little chat with the pigs, make sure that they're doing good. Hello, pig. All right, you're gonna be my little sacrifice today. All right, there we go. So a little piggy. Take our umbrella off, get ready to equip our log suit, and here we go. One more eat. There you go. Equip and smash. Now, when you're doing this, you're also going to want to make sure that you're just basically you're holding Control F. As long as you have full HP and you have a log suit on, you're not going to take too much damage whatsoever, so don't be too scared. And if you're playing Wilson like me, you're noticing, why did he leave his beard full again? Well, I like to leave my beard full just because, especially in springtime, you're going to also start to get cold at times as well too. So springtime doesn't really matter. You could leave your beard on the entire time, but as soon as summertime hits, we're going to be shaving our beard off. And how do we shave our beard? Well, obviously with a little razor. So we're not going to do it right now, but for the sake of our sanity, and once again, remember, Your sanity is a huge problem if you don't know how to combat any of the shadow creatures, if you're struggling with them. So how do we make our sanity up? Once again, we go through and we make things that have the little icon of the little light bulb. So if you are struggling with sanity, well, make yourself a shovel, make yourself some things. As long as you have it, your sanity is going to go up a little bit. And, you know, as long as you have the adequate amount of flint around, you might as well do it. I'm going to keep the little razor aside for future, and then I'm going to remake myself my hand bat, and I'm going to toss away the old one right here. Goodbye, hand bat. We'll miss you. All right, so now we have our log suit. We have our thermal stone, which we don't really need to keep on us right now, but I'm going to actually do that. And we're going to start preparing ourselves for winter. Before we do that, let's go down the caves real quick. As promised, we're going to go run into the caves. We're going to go get ourselves more light bulbs for the next few days. And then we're going to come back and get ourselves extra prepared for summer. Now, the greater majority of people during spring might forget because they're so preoccupied with, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. There's like this. There's this growing, there's that growing. There's perfect time to start growing all my crops that I've always wanted to grow. But they always sometimes forget the most important things, and that's getting yourself ready for summertime. Summer is one of the harshest seasons in Don't Starve Together. If you, for some odd reason, find yourself struggling in winter, I feel like you're going to struggle even more in summertime. I've played lots of DST, and I really do not like summertime at all. Some people might argue otherwise and say, that's really weird. It's actually one of the easier seasons. But in truth, I don't think so. The biggest, harshest thing about summertime is walking around and always making sure that you're not overheating. And unfortunately, in summer, there's really only one way to stop that from happening, and that's by using a thing called an endothermic fire pit. So as I've showed you before, we already have one prepared, and you don't want to be using this. You want to keep it around, but you want to make sure that you have adequate amount of niter and everything left over, just in case you accidentally, run out or you don't have enough stuff. So we're going to get that ready there as soon as we go up. Hello, bunnymen. We're not going to mess with the bunnymen right now. We're not going to really mess with anything downstairs just yet. And that is what summertime is for. So let's go back upstairs, go back to our base. We refilled our lantern, our miner hat, which is awesome. So that's all prepared. But we're gonna go back upstairs and we're gonna get ourselves ready. Let's ignore these bats. We don't need to fight them right now. I'm just gonna run around in circles. If for some odd reason a bat does hit you, don't be scared. Don't worry too much about it. It's not a big deal. They don't do too much damage, but just know that you could always fight back if you really wanted to, even without armor. As long as there's not multiple bats, you should be fine. But just be careful because you never know, right? Okay, so as we go back here, we're gonna show you alternate ways of making a few things as well too in the next episode. But we're gonna go and make a few things right now that I want to get everyone ready to go for summertime. Okay, so here we go. We have our 3 fridges. We have our first fridge with all the ice, which we're definitely going to need in case we need to make another flingo for some odd reason. We have our pierogies that are about to go pretty bad. We have all of our stuff that is still left over to make more pierogies. But something that I want you to do is I want you to take your thermal stone that is at 50%, and I want you to place it in the fridge. We don't need it right now anyways. It's springtime after all. We have our beard. If you're playing any other player other than Wilson, that's fine too. Just make sure that you're not getting yourself too cold. If it starts to rain, you take out your umbrella or your umbrella. And we're gonna make another one. So, going through all of our stuff, what do we have here? We have 1 pickaxe. We have 2 pickaxes. Now, if you were listening to me before, you want to make sure that you always leave your junky pickaxes at low percentage because this is the reason why you want to do it. So we're going to go back here. We're going to make another thermal stone. We're going to take that thermal stone. We're going to toss in the fridge. And we're going to take another thermal stone. This is very tedious, but it's very worthwhile. Let's grab some rocks, which I think we're in... Uh-oh, did I use all my rocks? Okay, well, anyways, 2 thermal stones is fine for now. We don't have to overdo it if we don't really want to. Now, why did I put that in the fridge? Okay, so during summertime, the best place to have your thermal stone is going to be in the fridge, much like we did before where we got ourselves prepared by leaving our thermal stone next to, by leaving our thermal stone next to the fire pit. So now instead we are actually going to be leaving them in the fridge. So every time we start to get boiling, we come back to the base, we're like, oh, overheating, what's going on? There's 2 options. You can either recycle your stuff by going into the fridge and putting basically your thermostone back in there. I'm gonna eat the seed because it's useless. And you now can just go in and grab a fresh thermal stone that's nice and chilly, and you're ready to go. Now, there's another option. Well, you're not going to place down your endothermic fire pit. Endothermic fire pits are exactly like a campfire. They only last a temporary amount of time, and then they disappear. Well, what are we going to do otherwise? Like, what if we're at the base? Like, what's the difference between, like, how are we going to cool off? Do we have to wait for our thermal stone to seriously cool off in the ice box? No, we do not. Let's start making some stuff now. After all, it is day 47. It's halfway through spring. Summer is coming upon us very quickly. We don't have much time. We got to go, go, go. So let's look for that niter that we kept around. Okay, there we go. We only have 10 of them, which is very limited. What else do we need? We are going to make ourselves an endothermic fire pit instead of just the endothermic fire. So the endothermic fire pit we're going to be creating. So let's grab any extra cut stone that we already got ready in here, because I know we got a few of them. There they are. And it's about time as well too. Okay, so let's hurry up and get this done real fast. 1, 2, and we still need 2 more cut stone. And there we go. Okay, now do not place this within your Fling-O-Matic. I cannot stress enough how much that matters. Place this somewhere over here, and I'm going to show you why we're going to do that, because it really does matter. Actually, you know what? Better yet, we're going to make 2 of these. I'll show you why. But there you have it. Now we're getting ourselves ready for summer. We're edging towards just getting close to preparing ourselves to go on a cave adventure once summertime hits, as long as we have everything we need. In the next episode, we're going to go over a few special things that we're going to get ourselves even further ready for summertime, and potentially showing you one of the bosses that walks around during spring that could cause havoc, and to what to be ready for. But I hope you guys had an awesome time watching the video so far, and I will see you guys in a few minutes with the next one. I'm going to continue to do more and more of these videos as often as I can, because I know how much you guys love them. And now that we reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I feel like so happy that has finally happened. So once again, if you've liked the video so far, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed it, and feel free to reach out to me on Twitch TV at All Fun and Games there. I'm open to any questions, or if you want to play with me anytime that I'm live, and I stream every single day, twice a day, 3:30 Eastern till 6:30, and again at 10:30 till 1 o'clock in the morning. So I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.